Good morning, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen of the Malacanang Press Corps. Welcome to the press briefing of Foreign Affairs Acting Spokesperson Robespierre Bolivar. Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for the introduction. I have a statement on the forthcoming visit of the President to Cambodia, Hong Kong, and Beijing. Good morning, colleagues from the press. The President will be traveling to Cambodia, Hong Kong, and Beijing from 10 to 15 May 2015. In Cambodia, the President, primarily in his capacity as chair of ASEAN, will be participating at the World Economic Forum for ASEAN from 10 to 11 May. The organizers designated the President as an honored guest of the WEF alongside the Prime Minister of Vietnam, who is currently the chair of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. The World Economic Forum, or WEF, is a not-for-profit foundation headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. Its annual meeting in Davos is attended by leading CEOs, G20 leaders, and heads of state and government, and international organizations. WEF also convenes annual regional meetings in locations around the world, and a special one focused on ASEAN. Cambodia will host the World Economic Forum on ASEAN for the first time. The theme for this WEF is Youth, Technology, and Growth, Securing ASEAN's Digital and Demographic Dividends. This theme supports the three program pillars of the WEF on ASEAN 2017, namely ASEAN in the New Global Context, ASEAN and the Connectivity Agenda, ASEAN and the Youth Agenda, and as ASEAN Chair, the President is expected to share his views on the region's achievements and challenges, and to deliver a message to the youth of ASEAN. The President has also been given the opportunity to address international investors regarding his economic plan. As the focus of WEF later this week is ASEAN, the President is likely to inform the participants of the progress made in the building of the ASEAN economic community. In particular, at the 30th ASEAN Summit held a little over a week ago, the leaders welcomed the ASEAN Economic Community's thrusts to pursue three strategic measures, namely increasing trade and investment, integrating micro, small, and medium enterprises in the digital economy, and developing an innovation-driven economy and to reduce trade transaction costs by 10% by 2020. The leaders also noted the progress in major connectivity projects, such as the ASEAN Roll-on Roll-off shipping network, particularly the maiden voyage of the sea linkage route between Davao, General Santos, and Bitung, which was launched on 30 April in Davao City. The leaders welcomed the initiative on the establishment of the ASEAN Science, Technology, and Innovation Partnership contributions, and the Philippines and Thailand individually pledged to contribute $1 million towards this new project. They looked forward to the target conclusion of the ASEAN-Hong Kong-China FTA within the year and welcomed the launch of formal region-to-region talks on a framework setting out the parameters of a future free trade agreement between ASEAN and the European Union. The leaders noted the need to achieve a modern, comprehensive, high-quality, and mutually beneficial regional comprehensive economic partnership agreement amidst the sluggish economic environment and the trends towards protectionism. More than 700 leaders from business, government, civil society, and the media are expected to participate in the WEF. From Cambodia, the President flies to Hong Kong, where he is scheduled to meet with a large Filipino community based in the Special Administrative Region. As of March 2017, there were around 210,000 Filipinos in Hong Kong, many of whom work in the hotel and restaurant industry or in the households of Hong Kong residents. The Filipino community in Hong Kong has been actively partnering with our Consulate General in ensuring the rights and welfare of our kababayans in Hong Kong are protected and promoted, and the community has also been instrumental in promoting enhanced trade relations between the Philippines and Hong Kong, and in promoting our country's investment opportunities and tourist destinations. The President is expected to stay in Hong Kong from 11 to 13 May 2017. He proceeds to Beijing on May 13th to participate in the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation, or BRF, which is scheduled to take place on 14 to 15 May 2017. He will join 27 other heads of state and government, as well as heads of 3 international organizations. The BRF will have 3 parts: the opening ceremony, a ministerial level dialogue, where there will be an exchange of views involving participants from government, industries, and research institutes, and a leaders' roundtable to be chaired by President Xi Jinping, which will be attended by the heads of state and government and international organizations. The topics they are expected to discuss include infrastructure connectivity, economic and trade cooperation, industrial investment, energy and resources, financial support, people-to-people exchanges, ecological and environmental protection, and marine cooperation. That ends my statement. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The floor is now open for questions. Maricel Halili of TV5.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, with regards to the visit of the President to China, will there be any chance of having a bilateral meeting between the leaders of China and the Philippines?
That's one thing we are trying to work out. As we can imagine, as host of the Belt and Road Forum, President Xi and Premier Li would probably have a very busy schedule, so we're trying to work out possible bilateral meetings, not just with the Chinese leadership, but also with the 27 other heads of state who are attending the forum.
And what issues are we targeting to raise if ever there will be a bilateral meeting?
Issues of common concern between the Philippines and China.
What are these, sir?
We cannot preempt what the President will raise, but definitely issues that are critical to our national interest. But since this is primarily an economic forum, so we would expect that if such a meeting would take place, the President would probably be discussing economic cooperation with China.
What are the chances that the issues on South China Sea will be discussed?
I'm not sure. I cannot say for certain if it will be discussed.
Sir, just one more. Sir, dun sa 27 other heads of state, kasama po ba dun yung Russia?
I believe, yes, I believe the Russian Prime Minister will be attending the forum. But you can check the website. I'm not really sure, but yeah.
All right,
you,
next
sir.
question from the lady in front. Please state your name and your media affiliation.
My name is Huang Zhenzhen from China Central Television. I would like to know for this Beijing trip, because the President will attend the Belt and Road Forum. So how's our expectation on this issue? And in your opinion, what's the significance of the Belt and Road can benefit the Philippines? Thank you.
Well, as I mentioned in a previous press briefing, the President's foreign engagements will be focused on securing the national interest. Anything that can help the Philippines in its economic development is very welcome. And we believe that the Belt and Road Initiative can be a helpful mechanism for the Philippines to promote its economic interests in the region.
Just to follow up, so how do you think that the Belt and Road Forum and our Duterte economics can work together to the practical cooperation in the future?
Well, one of the priorities of the Philippines and ASEAN as a whole is connectivity. And of course, the Belt and Road Forum also prioritizes connectivity, infrastructure, and the regulatory connectivity. So we expect that that will be a main topic of discussion and one of the agenda items that will be pushed for during the forum.
And how do you comment about the Philippine and China relationships in recent years?
The Philippines-China relationship has been steadily improving in all aspects over the last few years, and it's also a welcome development for us to engage more actively with China on economic cooperation.
And the last question about the Cambodia World Economic Forum. I heard that our chairman of AIIB will also attending that event. So is there any chance our President Duterte will meet him in Cambodia? And if they have a meeting, so what kind of topics they were going to talk about?
I have no information of whether there is a proposed bilateral meeting between the President and the AIIB President. But certainly anything that can propel the Philippines' economic agenda would be most welcome.
Thank you, sir.
All right, next question, please. Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. My name is
morning.
Dong from Xinhua News Agency of China. Well, I saw an exhibition a few days ago in the Anthropology Museum near the Runeta. It's an exhibition about the galleon trade in the 16th century. I'm impressed because that's a part of the ancient maritime Silk Road. At that time, the Manila, Philippines is a trade hub that connected China, Japan, and even Mexico. So I'm curious that how does the Philippines position itself in the modern international trade arena? Does this administration has a plan for its part in the world trade? It's a trade hub or manufacturer base, especially that we have the proposal from China that there's a new Belt and Road proposal right now. So that's the administration's plan for Philippines? Thank you.
Actually, that's an excellent question. And the Philippines has always prided itself on being at a strategic crossroads between the East and the West. And as you mentioned, the Philippines played a crucial part in the Manila-Acapulco, Spain galleon trade. And if you have that on the eastern part of the country, and at the western part you have the new maritime Silk Road, then it would reinforce the view that the Philippines is actually a central part to facilitating world trade. And that's something definitely that the administration is looking at, how to promote that strategic role in facilitating world trade.
Thank you. Any more questions? Christian Esguerra of ABS-CBN.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Can you give us more details on the planned meetings, or will there be actual meetings between the President and certain particular investors? Because you said that this is going to address the possible investors during the WEF in ASEAN. Will there be one-on-one meetings, for example, between private corporations in the Philippines and Cambodia and other countries?
Thank you. In particular, the organizers of the World Economic Forum have given the President, I think, a press conference, if I'm not mistaken, to address the business leaders, the CEOs who are present, to promote the Dutertenomics and the President's socio-economic agenda. So that would be the main engagement that the President would have with the CEOs who are attending WEF.
Any more questions? None? Okay. Thank you very much, DFA Acting Spokesperson Robespierre Bolivar. And thank you also, friends from the media and the Malacanang Press Corps. That ends our press briefing. Back to the main studio of PTV4 and Radyo ng Bayan.